Hello, Aries. Thank you for joining me at Leaping Lotus Tarot. Let's jump right into an oracle message for you. Take a deep breath if you would for me. Ground yourself into the present moment and set your intention for what message you would like to hear today. Any sort of question that you have. I've got 2 oracle messages out right now. And one of them is the universe wants to co-conspire with you. Number 26. We also have Divine Dragon. I'm going to go ahead and actually look this one up in the Oracle book real quick because there's no description on it, and I'd really like to know what that one means. Okay, Divine Dragon. Attributes: sovereignty, power, full expression, and magic. Now that definitely ties in with the universe wants to co-conspire with you. So you're being called to basically listen to the universe or listen to your higher self as the universe tries to engage with you. So a dragon chooses you. You do not choose the dragon. A dragon's power connects you to your own power from within, to stand sovereign. It's also connected to your root expression of power, fire, and even sexual energy, Kundalini rising. You cannot serve the collective without yourself first being alive and ablaze. Allow the dragon's fire of purification to cleanse you. In the East, the dragon was seen as a mythical guardian with influence over all over all the elements. In the West, it was seen as a feared fire-breathing serpent because people didn't fully understand the magic and divine wisdom dragons carry. There's an awakening of the dragon archetype now, and you can embody with this cosmic, and you can embody that with this, I don't know what my, cosmic conversation. Your power is engaged for a purpose, breathing fire when needed. So potential questions to ask this archetype as proposed here are: why did you choose me? How do I more fully proclaim my power in this situation? What areas of shame, guilt, or smallness do I need to examine and cleanse? What is your name so I can call on you when needed? And how can I call you in and ask for your help? So I was going to say this before with the universe co-conspiring. I was going to say that this almost reminds me of channeling in a sense. So you may have some spirit guides, you may have some higher power beings that are looking to work with you and speak to you and deliver messages through you. That might be a little woo-woo for some, but that's what this particular thing is saying here. So you may be feeling like you're receiving messages, or you're seeing a lot of synchronistic signs, numbers, symbols, just a lot of things that just seem kind of like too eerie to explain, too perfect. And you might be thinking like, like, is someone trying to tell me something? Well, this is validation that yes, someone is, or something, or even if it's not anyone else separate than you, it's your higher self calling you in, because there is a message to be delivered to you that might need to be received by others as well. You contain the entire universe encoded within you. Yeah, you are extremely powerful. You are a master manifester. And I think with that, we should just dive on into the tarot and see what we have here for you, Aries. What does Aries need to hear in regards to all of this channeling business? What's going on with this channeling stuff? I've only had the experience of channeling one time. What I'm doing right now is basically just me listening to my own sort of, sorry, my thing is like totally, oh goodness, sorry guys, bear with me. This is just me following my own intuition, my own sort of gut reaction to things. 2 of air, dialogue. So what I was going to say about channeling is I've only channeled one other time, and it was interesting because it was unlike anything I'd ever experienced before. It was very unique, and that's why it stood out. Because I feel like I receive intuitive messages all the time, but this one was energetically extremely different. So I was laying in my bed, and I forget what it was. It was something, I was having judgment around some person or something, and it was really heavy. And I kind of like snapped myself out of it. I was like, you know what? I was like, this is ridiculous. This is not you. This is not what you want to be feeling or thinking about. Like, you need to get out of this. And I don't really know how it triggered or why it came about, but I I was laying on my stomach, I remember, and I just remember feeling my heart literally like opening. Like it felt like it was breaking open. Like I can't describe it any other way than that. And I was overwhelmed, just absolutely just washed over with so much love. And I just started sobbing. I was like, oh my, I mean, it was so, I can't describe, like there's literally a sensation in my heart of it going like this. Like it literally felt like it was open. It felt so open. Like my chest felt so like, almost like it was exposed to the air. Like it literally felt open, and it was so beautiful. And there was so much love. And I was like, oh my, like I can't even express to you, how absolutely amazing it felt. And so I basically like could hear something was like, you need to write this down. Like you need to like journal. And so I was like, okay. So, not like a voice or anything like that, but, or at least at this part. But I just felt really called to journal. So I started writing, and basically I was like hearing it, like it was my voice, but it was like, it came out so fast. Like it was just like, I just was writing, and I was writing these beautiful messages basically to myself. And, I knew what I was writing as I was writing it, but like I had to go back and read it to really like receive the full message. All I just knew the whole time is just, it was just love. And it felt like me, but it also felt different than me. Like it didn't feel like anything that was my ideas. It was so cohesive, and it was so like, it was just coming through, and it did feel external to me in a sense. Now, everything that I do with these tarot readings feel like me. Every so often there will be an energy comes through that just feels very loving like that. And I can feel, I kind of assume that it's you guys. Like I assume that it's like your energy. So I'm like, oh, this is a beautiful energy. Oh, wow, this feels so great. But I don't know like whose energy it is. Maybe it's mine, maybe it's something else's, but certain messages come through with that energy. So that was my only experience with channeling. It didn't last very long. I want to say maybe like 10, 15 minutes maybe. It wasn't very long, and I kind of came back down and was in my normal space, but that heart opening was monumental. It was earth-shattering. It was so beautiful. So here at this Two of Air, getting back into your reading, I just felt the call to share that, because maybe you've had an experience similar to that, and or maybe you've had multiple experiences like that, and you're like, you know what, maybe there is some being trying to come through and channel through me. So Two of Air is dialogue in this particular case. Now, Two of Air is normally Two of Swords, and that's like an indecisive energy, but this is dialogue. So I'm going to take this as maybe you're feeling indecisive about working with a spirit guide. Maybe you're a little bit scared. Maybe you feel not ready. And what's interesting too is that as you start doing this process, I've listened to a lot of interviews regarding channelers and stuff. You should check out Next Level Soul. I think that's what it's called, Next Level Soul podcast. And he has a bunch of channelers on, and they always kind of talk about, and he always talks about, I'm blanking on his name, Alex Ferrari, talks about how there's sort of a integration period, or like a download period, or it's basically like the higher frequency and the higher vibration of these other beings and other like dimensions and stuff like that. Our heavy density of our bodies is not really meant to, like, we can't take them on instantly. It like short circuits. That's the word he used. It like basically short circuits your electrical system. It's like it can't happen. It'll put you into the crazy house. Like it's not good. So it has to be integrated like very slowly. And so I feel like if I end up channeling at some point, it's going to be like a very gradual process, because it was only one time I did that, and it was in the past basically like year or so. But I'm relating to that like dialogue too of Air indecisive. Like I'm relating to that fear a little bit, I think, of like getting into it, because I don't want to feel crazy. I'm not really sure I want to present myself to people as a channeler either. I'm not even sure I can really figure out how to replicate or duplicate what happened to me. It came on so spontaneously. All I did was decide I wanted to stop feeling that hateful, judgmental energy, and it just whoosh came in. So I don't know if I have a lot of control. These channelers tend to really bring it in like spontaneous, like they're like, they can control when it comes in, and I'm definitely not there yet. So if that's something I end up doing, or you end up doing, like, don't judge yourself for either being afraid of it, or feeling like you can't, or like you don't really know how to replicate it. Basically what I'm being told, I'm sort of being told, I don't know how to explain that, but it's like the thoughts in your mind that aren't really, it's like knowings. I try to pay attention to the knowings and the things that you hear, like your own voice in your mind. There's things that are the ego that you can distinguish as like thoughts, and there's things that are like more like the soul. And so I tend to distinguish them as like the soul is much simpler. It always comes from a place of love and opening. So the messages you'll receive from your soul are very simple, concise, clear, and come from a place of love. Thoughts that come through are usually fear, anxiety, and they're very rapid. They bounce around. They come through in like an erratic sort of like a fear. Basically, like thoughts kind of tend to, unless you're like a very evolved person, we kind of tend to live more in fear a little bit on the average person on a day-to-day basis. But if you're getting very clear, concise messages coming through with an intention of love and simpleness, that's probably your soul, and you should probably listen to that. And usually those are pretty strong. They're hard to ignore, very hard to ignore. So let's continue on. We're already 11 minutes in, and I'm just rambling on about channeling. But you know what? This is for obviously some Aries out there, I guess, that just needs to hear something about listening to their higher selves and trusting their gut and not being afraid to listen to the voice within them that's trying to deliver them messages. 4 of Air, 4 of Swords reversed. So when I was talking about meditation earlier, this is a huge issue that I have. I really struggle just sitting down and devoting the time to meditation, and that's exactly what this card is saying. This upright 4 of Air is 4 of Swords. That's a meditation card. I mean, look at this imagery, right? With it being reversed, this is a call from your spirit guides to meditate. I think a lot of, so you can have this dialogue, right? And you don't have to feel indecisive or scared about it. We've got the fire matriarch, ancestral power. It may not be beings from other dimensions or aliens talking to you. Maybe it is, I don't know. But with this one, this is kind of saying that your ancestors may be around helping you. And then this is kind of like in this particular deck, this fire matriarch is kind of like the Queen of Wands, essentially. But it was reversed, so that's interesting. So yeah, you might just not be embracing your ancestral power. You're not listening to your ancestors' messages. Not all of your family is incarnated with you in your life with you, because they might be your spirit guides on the other side. I had an uncle, this reminds me, pass away kind of early. He was in his 50s from a heart attack, very unexpected. Now, he was a little overweight, but it just was very unexpected. And that's not an uncommon story, but essentially I was really close to him too, and I had such a companionship, and we had a great humor. He was the first one who ever taught me how to drive a truck, and it was actually a dually. It was a 3500, a Dodge, and that was the first thing I ever drove when I was like 13 or something. So it's a fond memory I have, and that truck is still around in the family, by the way. Still runs great. It's been all tricked out, and it's actually got an issue right now, but whatever. It's like a 90, I want to say it's like a 94 or something like that. Anywho, so you may have totally tuned out by now at this point. I'm just rambling. But essentially what I'm trying to say is that I feel like he's potentially a spirit guide for me. He wasn't meant to really be with me long in this lifetime, enough to have a connection, but I think that he might be really sort of guiding me. And maybe you feel the same way about like a grandmother or something like that, or some sort of matriarch or mother figure, perhaps, is guiding you from the other side, essentially. We have 4 of Water, 4 of Cups reverse, riding the waves. Yeah, this is just reminding me to kind of confirm to you, don't be scared. What is there to be scared of? Everything on the other side is full of love. So what's there to fear? You're fearing love? Or are you fearing challenging current belief systems that you're afraid to unroot? This also reminds me of a Theo Von and Tony Robbins video that I watched earlier this morning. Theo was basically confessing to Tony Robbins about his issues with feeling proud of himself and letting go of the old versions of himself that are depressed and in places of issues of self-worth and stuff like that. And so it was I encourage you to listen to it. Now there's a version of it that's just a clip, and I want to say it's like 11 minutes long or 16 minutes. So it's like super easy to listen to. It's totally worth it. Please do it. But that's very much reminding me of that, is you have to release that attachment to that old bully in your mind, essentially, in order to come into a more regular place of love, to predominate in a space of love on a day-to-day basis, and gratitude and compassion versus guilt, shame, embarrassment, things like those sort of energies. Moon, circle, sister, 7 of Water, 7 of Cups. This could be a call to embrace the friendships that really support you. Surround yourself with, if you're a feminine energy, surround yourself with other feminines that really empower you and are on the same sort of spiritual path. You may feel kind of alone at times in this path, like you don't really have anyone who resonates with this, and you just feel kind of alone at times. And this is an encouragement to seek out those soul sisters. Now, I know that that's probably a recommendation for me. I've had some sort of issues with friendships with women in the past. A lot of like betrayals with like talking behind my back, or just like competitive nature with things. And I also moved a lot as a kid, so I was like always that kid that was trying to fit into friend groups that were already well established. So I've had several really close female best friends in my life, but they've always disconnected for one reason or another, whether I moved or whether we just lost touch or whether something happened. So this is probably a message and encouragement for me as well, to seek out feminine energy that also is very similar to mine. I really struggle with finding feminine energy that isn't trying to be in some sort of competitive spirit with me, and I don't really know how to address that, and perhaps that's something I need to meditate about. I don't like being in competition with women. I like to keep things very simple, and I love to be in a place of love, but it's almost weird. I almost feel like I have too much love, and then I don't know. I don't know how to balance it, okay? So that may be a message for you as well. We're already 16 minutes in. Let's just wrap this up with any sort of final messages. I hope you enjoyed this one. This one was a little bit different for sure, Aries. So please drop in the comments if you got something valuable out of this. Four of Pentacles reversed, familiars. It's a girl in a wheelchair here with little goats in her lap. This is super cute. And so normally this upright represents like holding things close to your chest, being a little bit reserved, holding all of your resources and things for yourself. But this is a call to be more generous, to open yourself up to it's familiars too. So again, this is like reminding me of family, finding soul sisters that you can consider a part of your family. Earth matriarch, saving seeds. This is like Queen of Pentacles. So we had this Queen of Pentacles, I believe, is Virgo energy. And I'm a Virgo. So this reading does really feel like it's a lot for me. But we did have that Queen of Wands come out reversed earlier. And so wand energy is fire sign, right? And we are doing an Aries reading. So there could be something there with that. But this could just be to also be grounded in your earthly nature as well. Go outside, enjoy nature, find the beauty in day-to-day life. And don't be afraid of giving yourself openly to other connections and being open to receiving messages. It's basically like a call to being open is what this whole reading seems to be about. So anyway, thank you so much, Aries. I hope you enjoyed this one, and we will see you next time.